Yeah, this is what it was like trying to launch the game. Okay. This is the Xbox launcher. You hit play, and it just immediately crashes. Hit play, crashes. And it doesn't matter how many times you try to do it, that's what it will keep doing no matter what. Like some people said, oh, it fixes itself if you reinstall the entire Xbox launcher. I don't want to have to reinstall the entire launcher and all of the games I've gotten to work on the Xbox launcher just to try and get Fallout 76 working. So I went and I found a secondary key available for $10, and I got it on Steam. Hit play, it launched, and we're fine. But it's still, I insist, it is madness that Xbox, after all this time, cannot get their PC launcher working consistently. You're owned by Windows, and you can't get the Windows version of your game working well enough through your own software to justify its use. Like, people are having to go and spend $10 that they don't want to spend, even though they already have the game for free through Game Pass, or for no added cost through Game Pass. And they're buying it on Steam just so that they can launch it. It's insane. The fact that the Windows launcher for Game Pass has been broken for like 3-4 years, it's never worked, but it's been broken since Game Pass really took off. It's just baffling. It's baffling. And if anything makes you question the capability of the leadership at Xbox, that should do it. Okay, study Dr. Hudson's research, equip a set of fatigues. Oh, I already did that. Oh my god, dude, I already did this and it's having me redo it. It didn't save. Of course. Of course. Of course. So the fatigues are in here. Man, how on earth? It's still so buggy. It didn't save my stuff. It's also like, I don't know if it comes through on stream because the stream is at 60, but it's like weirdly choppy. So it's like, even though the game is running at, let's see, 80 frames on a 4090, which is insane. It still looks like maybe the movement of the world is only happening at like 40 frames. It's really weird.
Uniform issued.
It's just frankly kind of an ugly game. Even now, it just doesn't look very good. But you know what? People have said the community is why you play it. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, we're seeing 28, 30%, 35% GPU utilization. And just to show you, we just have things cranked, but for some reason it can't run any higher than this. What about full screen? I have to restart the game to get it to run in full screen. Okay. CPU utilization, that's only at 14%. Hold on. What are we looking at? Even the cores it's using, it's not like, except for this one, 12. It's not like utilizing the entire core.
"16 times the detail."
I guess this one's heavier used, but man. Also, you cannot kill NPCs that are quest givers, which is like big cringe. I definitely adjusted the sensitivity settings and it did not save them. Already, I'm being reminded of why I can't stand this game. Like, it's, oh my God. So weirdly choppy for being at 90 frames. I don't know what this is. What is... Okay.
Now that's what I like to see.
My brain is already
All
frying.
up and ready to die for your country. There are 3 training exercises you'll need to complete. Marksmanship, agility, and patriotism. Our courses, like all things in the great territory of Appalachia, are automated. So you over-promoted mammals can do them as you see fit. Complete the courses to my satisfaction, and we'll get you moved on to the real test. Dismissed!
Dismissed!
This is in the bad reviews in the eye.
Just a refresher, okay?
If you found this tape, it means that everyone is dead. Or working at a different office. How did this happen? Well, I'll tell you.
Buckle up, buckaroos. Today's lesson is the misfired launch of Fallout 76. June 2018. It began with everyone getting just a little hyped up.
Have we waited long enough?
Oh, dude, do you remember that? Oh, I forgot about that. They started this live stream where it was just like this screen. I wonder if I can actually like find it. Sorry, Neuralink monkey playing Pong. Let's see. This, yeah, people were so hyped. They were watching just this blank screen. Here it was.
I have the volume up there. Oh, what's this?
Dude, I remember this so well.
Todd?
Have we waited long enough, guys?
Yes?
I think we have. We want to thank all of you who tuned into this. It's amazing. We have had over 2 million unique visitors to the stream to watch, I don't know what, nothing, but we have something really cool to show you. It's a tease for our next game, and we'll see you all at E3 June 10th. Thanks again.
Thanks, Todd. All right, what is it?
What is it? Everybody was so excited. There was so much confusion when this dropped, though. So much confusion, because people were like, so is it Fallout 5? No. Something else. It's a multiplayer Fallout? What?
Love
This, like, they were so goofy and, like, weirdly cocky about this. It was so weird. Especially because we know how this turned out. It was just so weird for them to be so cocky about it. What a load of bullocks, says the Twitch chat. We skipped Fallout 5 through 75 for this. 177,000 people were in the stream for that. Man, old school Twitch too. Look at that. Yeah, man, it was madness. It was crazy. People were so hyped for it. And then it dropped and they were like, all of a sudden the confusion was overwhelming. It was very, very strange. It didn't make any sense. But yeah, this live stream, that's a throwback, man. That dude looks so demotivated because he knew. Do you think he knew though? Like, that's the thing I always am so confused about. Do these executives actually know what they're getting into? Because I would think, surely they've tried the games. Surely they're aware that this isn't where it needs to be. Like, I would think. But maybe not. Maybe they honestly are not aware of just how broken it is. Or maybe like what they tell some reviewers, they just trusted that they were gonna patch it and fix it in time. I don't know. Just really weird though.
Guys,
Oh god, yes we have, Todd.
I think we have.
Fallout 76, Bethesda's biggest game yet. My god, it was exciting. And they promised we'd know more at E3. E3 hype time. The press conference. 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail.
16
All new
times.
rendering, lighting, and landscape technology.
4 times the map
It is
size.
4 times the size of Fallout 4. And it's our biggest one yet.
My god, it was exciting.
It just goes to show you, bigger does not always mean better. Okay, just because the map is 4 times the size does not mean it's great. Plus, like, you look at the map in Fallout 76, yeah, it's big, but most of this is just like big empty spaces with nothing. Like, it's a lot of bloat. Just being real. It's a whole lot of bloat. There's other players. These are all other players, by the way. These little dots. Snakes are silent. They're all very high level. 263, 462. Jeez. 124, 526. Wow. Dude, there's some hardcore players in this lobby. 781. Jesus God. How long do you have to play Fallout 76 to be level 781? Wow. What's the level cap? Is there one? That's insane. Yeah, exactly. Matchmaking's great here. I'm in a lobby with a 781 level character. I think I'm level 4 or 5. There isn't one? Oh, I can see it. 781 has got to be day one. Like, that's got to be early. One of the first players. Like, Jesus.
November 14th, 2018. The game goes live.
Why is it raining
with a
through
day
the
one
steel
patch
roof?
of 50 gigabytes.
For fuck's sake.
Like, okay, to be fair, water does fall through holes. But there's water falling straight through the steel, the solid steel. Okay. It's just one of these little things that pulls you out a little bit, you know? And this is what it was described to me as. Somebody in that comment section, when I was talking about the idea of coming and playing this again, seeing what it's like, they were like, there's still a lot of little bugs, a lot of little bitty things that stand out, are weird, or not working the way they should be. But it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not going to break the game for you, but it just pulls you out a little bit. But eventually you just tune them out. And for me, like, this is one of those things where it's just annoying. It makes me not take it super seriously. And it's clear this isn't working the way it probably should be. But some people will say this is not a bug, it's a feature because there's holes in the ceiling. So it's actually really, really cool.
I'll see you tomorrow.
But once that's downloaded, people start logging into the hellscape
it's not this
that is
bad.
Fallout 76. And oh dear lord, they never fix the bugs. And there are so many of them. Goodbye world, goodbye necks,
Goodbye.
body, goodbye heads, bugs everywhere. Server crashes, game crashes, old bugs imported from Fallout 4. Use more than one nuke at a time, server's dead. Textures far too texturous, an all-consuming void. Error log 307. Can't pick up stuff, can't stop asserting dominance with a T-pose, framerate problems, screen tear problems, getting too swole, getting underneath the map, getting attacked by invisible enemies, spawning too many enemies,
Kind of speaks for itself.
spawning too many god rays. Also, your camp resets after every session, and sometimes it goes underwater. Holotapes randomly play static, but too many holotapes mean none of them will play. Enemy AI is far more A than I. Animations are broken. Surprise! Floating objects and a traveling merchant. Just to name a few. Joseph Anderson has a great video that documents just the ones that he found personally. That video is 3 hours long. But it gets worse.
The little like musical inserted. It's great. I love it.
DE348780 can corrupt your data and force you to reinstall the game and console operating system. A few PC players had their computers brick entirely. Also, when the date rolled over to the 1st of January 2019, the nukes in the game stopped working altogether. No one thought it prudent to program in other years in an always online game. And a few players were straight up logging into other people's accounts. This guy had a level 78 character that was randomly replaced with a level 8 character. Bethesda said they couldn't do anything about it. Many players are not thrilled with this game, and they want Bethesda to know that. And they want everyone else to know that too. But Bethesda owns the platform. Is Fallout 76 fun?
Yes, it is. Banned for racism. Thread locked.
They had no direct outlet for their rage. The only solution was to put a torch to everything else. Reddit, Twitter, Bethesda's other...
Okay, and this is one thing, like, there is a real question to be asked about who was responsible for what. Like, did Todd know what was going on with the banning of critiques and criticism? Like, did they actually know all that stuff? Or were they just kind of floating by and then their other teams were screwing up? Even if he wasn't the one responsible for it initially, I think he knew what was happening. Like, he knew, obviously, because it was all over the internet, that they were banning negative comments, they were doing lots, and I think he could have made calls and fixed it and dealt with it. And he chose not to, you know? This is the clunkiest, like, agility course in any game ever. The buttons don't click when you click it. It's so clunky. It's so bad. Like, look, there I press the button, then it takes a second to load. Then I come here, I press the button, and then it goes. It's so clunky, dude. They can't even get buttons working right. Click. It's like mildly infuriating.
The games on Steam. The backlash was immense. But surely level heads would prevail. The reviewers would come out and say that the game isn't so bad. Oh dear lord, they hate it. This is so sad. Despacito, play Country Roads.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
And the YouTube community had this to say.
It's really fucking boring.
Could barely bring myself to play it in order to finish this review.
No one on staff wants to play any more of this video game. I'm not going to subject
They
myself
can't find
to
reviewers
another
to play it.
20, 30 hours of this fucking mess.
In short, Fallout 76 is morally, technically, and creatively bankrupt.
The mods on Bethesda forums were working overtime. The mods on Reddit almost gave up. Look, I'm not saying that some people didn't enjoy and have fun with this game. But what I am saying is that the Metacritic was really funny to read. So what happened? Well, it came out that development was hugely rushed.
Angry Joe's got awful. I understand why some people don't jive with him. I get it. He is like a long-term guy, but he's another one of those people that just needs to get off of Twitter. Like, maybe this is controversial. I don't know. But there was like a solid... On Twitter, it's like 80% of the people there. 80% of Twitter users who, frankly, should not be trusted with it. Like, they cannot responsibly use Twitter. They say stupid stuff that will get them canceled in 2 years. It's just amazing. Like, just because you can send out a thought doesn't mean you should every single time. Like, it's amazing to me. It's baffling. It's too much. I don't know if it's maturity or if it's just like this impulse, like they struggle with impulse control, so they just want to, like, they have the thought of saying something and so they just say it before really thinking it through. I don't know, but man, it's Angry Joe is one where he just constantly is getting himself into trouble for those stupid reasons. Stupid stuff.
The deadlines were tight. Too tight.
Chronic lack of any filters whatsoever. Maybe it's that. I think it's also, you get a little bit of a big head when you have a lot of followers on Twitter, and so you think everybody wants to hear your opinion on absolutely everything, and they just frankly don't. Like, you guys don't want to see me tweeting out random stuff on politics and religion and things like that, because who gives a crap? I'm at gaming videos. Like, why the fuck, like, why would you care? You don't, and you shouldn't. I'm just a gaming YouTuber. Like, chill. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it. I'll tell you what I think, but I'm not going to go out there and just try to lecture the world on what I think about this stuff, because chances are I'm wrong about a lot of stuff. But it seems like most people that are on Twitter, like I said, probably 80%, think that everybody should listen to their thoughts. It's like they really took to heart that whole thing that you used to get told in elementary school. Oh, everybody's a snowflake, and everybody wants to hear your thoughts, and together we can make the world a brighter place. It's like, no, you have bad ideas and you should shut up. Like, that's what most people should do, including myself, with things that I know nothing about. Like, why should you care what I think about solar technology? You shouldn't. You shouldn't. So I'm not going to ramble it at you. Like, who cares? Why should you care what I think about Twitter? You shouldn't. I don't even tweet out these thoughts on Twitter because it's stupid.
Plus, this wasn't Bethesda's A-team. It's actually a relatively inexperienced division based in Austin, and
This is what I thought too. I thought that it was built by Austin and that BGS was just there kind of on the side to talk to them every once in a while. But apparently the team at BGS, Maryland, was actually much more involved than we previously thought. They actually were pretty active. They didn't pour like all their time into it, but they were there, and they worked on it pretty heavily, which is why Starfield took longer than they thought. Notice how delayed the health bar is from when the bullet hits. It's just like so much of this game feels like it's held together by duct tape.
Scope of the game kept getting bigger.
We're gonna need distant weather systems.
Hey Todd, I stayed up all night and I just finished.
We're gonna need 16 times the detail.
Please, Todd, no more.
We're gonna need 4 times the size
of Fallout 4.
That, and they were trying to patchwork the old Bethesda creation engine into a multiplayer framework. What else could you expect?
And this is what actually kind of worries me about Starfield is I don't know if Starfield's using like an updated version of the Fallout 76 engine or an updated version of the Fallout 4 engine. Because if it's an updated version of the Fallout 76 engine, we're screwed. We're totally screwed. Because this thing still runs like garbage 5 years later. I mean, look at the performance stats. On a 4090, we're at 80 frames, running at 1440p ultra wide, and only 34% GPU utilization. Madness.
That's why I give my kids Fallout 76.
Now, Bethesda could tolerate the bugs and the bad reviews and the irate players, but what they couldn't tolerate were the exploits. Infinite inventory, infinite invisibility. The frame rate was tied to the game speed, so people were going a lot faster than they should.
Oh yeah.
Server hopping for more items, infinite cache and infinite duplication, unlimited XP, unlimited nuking. The nuclear codes were unencrypted and you could wall clip into the quest room. And someone was given the curse of infinite invincibility. Naturally, this can really mess with other players' online experience. So Bethesda...
They probably got banned for being invincible. But that's just like, oh, they're cheating, ban them. Like, no, please help. Let me die. Kill me, I'm in so much pain.
Bethesda was ready with the ban hammer.
This just works.
And a blindfold to wildly flail around and take down anyone who happened by. But Bethesda wasn't satisfied with just banning people. No, they're a progressive company with big ideas.
Big ideas.
They wanted to give a road to redemption. So sent out this email to players caught cheating.
This is amazing.
We would be willing to accept an essay on why the use of third-party cheat software is detrimental to an online game community. That's right, 500 words on why you're a very naughty boy, and they may just give you your account back. But a couple of days later, the mocking from news outlets caused them to reconsider this approach.
I'll be real, this could have been really, really funny if it was coming from somebody else with like a good game that's like solid. But when your game is like garbage and then you're telling people to write an essay, it just comes off as like really, really out of touch, especially because a lot of the bans were like not the person's fault. A lot of people were getting banned because they were just playing the game and something like broke. It's really, really weird. But man, Starfield got made from the no refunds of 76, probably, honestly. If you're playing just get nitpicky, you're gonna get disappointed. Well, we're like, what everybody has told me about Fallout 76 is what really makes it click and what makes it work is the community. So what we're doing now is we're playing the game, just trying to play it like a normal average player who's getting started, going through it, working through it slowly. And we're gonna see if we encounter the community and we see what happens. Because I could like tweet out, hey, join my server, send me friend requests, creators of Fallout 76 content. We could do that, but that's not reflective of what the average consumer is going to get with this game. Like, I want to see how Ryanator is working. Maybe we'll go to his camp after this. Try to meet him, see if he's nice. See if he gives me stuff.
One more exploit. In all the Bethesda games, there's a dev room. Every item in the game is kept here. Security has to be top-notch because otherwise, someone could just waltz in and take all of the best items in the game and it would be an absolute disaster. Well, shit. Of course, Bethesda wasn't equipped to deal with the issue. People started flooding in, taking the best items in the game, then selling those items on a black market of sorts. At first, they tried the usual approach, banning people who had some of the best items in the game. You spent 700 hours just to get the best gun? Die, cheater! Next, they put in a system where players would get tagged if they ever entered the room, and they banned those players. That wasn't much better because people would just start using Smurf accounts. Get in quick with a level 1 account. Get all that good shit. Then get the fuck out. Then use a duplication glitch to get a ton more of those items. Then transfer that stuff to your main account and you're good to go. Bethesda then takes out this level 1 and calls it mission accomplished. And you've just beaten the game. So the problem continued. Bethesda is running out of ideas to solve it. There's a lot of speculation in the media and among players about how exactly people are getting in, but no one except for the exploiters knows for sure. That said, Bethesda needs to act fast before it ruins the economy of the game. So they wrote another email and sent it out to the Smurfs. Hello, do you want it?
They straight up asked the hackers, please, pretty please, tell us how you broke into our game. It was so bad. They were so desperate.
Tell us how you did it, and we might unban you, please? Should we not hear back from you, the account will simply remain suspended. It's not known whether this approach worked, but from what I've seen, it's still possible to get into the dev room. November 22nd, 2018. Just a week after the release, the game goes on discount. From $60 to $40. To $35.
Real quick.
To $30. You can find it for $15 on eBay, and in Germany, they're straight up giving it for free when you buy a PlayStation controller. Also, some stores are just...
Yeah, I went to a Best Buy. I think I've mentioned this before, but I went to a Best Buy in Denver. It's like Thornton area, actually. And they had like 2 copies of Fallout 76 taped to a box with a Xbox One 76 bundle. Like, they were just trying to get rid of the copies as quick as they could. It was bad, man. It was bad. Okay, we have a long hike.
Products. But to Bethesda, it's worth selling the thing at a price close to $0, because it brings people into the atomic shop, which is where the real margins are, and it inflates the poor sales figures. Let's have a look at those. The latest figures show 76 sold less than a sixth of what Fallout 4 did.
It still sold 2.46 million, guys. Come on. Dude, that's still way too many copies. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. You see how like it's ever so slightly lagging behind the bullets that actually land on screen? It's just slightly behind where it needs to be.
Not good.
Oh god.
There's also been a massive oversupply of hard copies. Although, what's the point of a hard copy when the thing is just a cardboard disc telling you to redeem an online code? And while sales are low, returns are high. Immediately upon release, people began asking Bethesda for a refund. 76 is not on Steam, it's on Bethesda's own platform. So
now it is, but that's because they were bought out and all of this. My conspiracy theory back when Fallout 76 launched was that this whole thing was being done as a means of basically maximizing revenues to make the company look better before the acquisition to have higher revenues and stuff. I still don't know for a fact that that's what happened, but it seems to be one of the few things that could explain this. What is with this lighting? There's no light. Why is it lit? Okay, you know what? It's not a big deal. Poop soup. That's funny. Dead ass.
they have all the control. If players only played the game for a few hours, then generally they'd get their money back. However, it came out that people were sometimes getting refunds after a full 24 hours of play. Quite generous. But then word about this spread to forums. Then to Reddit, and a post got 12,500 upvotes informing people that this made pretty much everyone eligible for a refund, and the comments told them exactly how to do it. Bethesda was flooded with requests for refunds. And their response? Shut it down, lads. No one gets a refund now. Everyone go home. Show's over. Robot customer service man engage.
Customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for a refund. We apologize for the inconvenience. Die.
I understand it's tricky to issue refunds for online games and for games where people could download it and then pirate it. I get it. I understand. But that's literally not our problem. Like we're the ones that are paying. I think it was north. Yeah, northeast. We're the ones that are paying to make this like happen. And one of the ways that you improve your company is by, in the words of Jeff Bezos, being obsessive about your customers. And it feels as though this is like the total opposite of that. It's just like, we've already lost the customers. It's like they're giving up. It's like, oh, well, the customers probably hate us after this, so let's just not bother with keeping them happy, you know? Let's just not even bother.
A few things followed. First, people got mad. One hardcore gamer even trashed a GameStop for refusing his refund.
I'm pretty sure that was fake, though.
Thank you for calling GameStop. This is Brian. How can I help you?
A bit of an overreaction, but probably also fake. Second, the media. And third, a class action lawsuit. Their inconsistent refund policy and terms of service may not be strictly legal.
I'm still pissed. Elon and Todd Howard had that collaboration at E3 2019. Thank you, Nathaniel. Jeez, thank you. And they sat down on the stage and they talked together and they had this whole thing. And at that event, there was a Q&A afterwards. I was in the audience for this. And it was great. Elon's also huge. I don't know if it comes through on video, but the dude's massive. He's built like a Viking Jarl. It's great. Oh, look at the video. There we go. But during the Q&A, somebody had an option to ask Todd a question like, hey, what on earth was up with Fallout 76? Do you really expect us to just forgive you and move on? Like, nobody asked that question. They could have, but nobody did. I wasn't close enough to the microphone to ask any questions. Instead, all of the questions they asked were like, Elon, can I have a job? Elon, can you give me a dab? Elon, can I get a selfie? It was so cringe, dude. It drove me crazy. I was like, this is your chance to tell Todd to go F himself, and you didn't take it. It's amazing. Because, to be fair, okay, I get it. This is like me being maybe overly negative. Some people would say not skeptical, cynical. I don't care. What Bethesda did with Fallout 76 was evil, okay? They knew the game was a broken pile of garbage, and they chose to still send it out there. They didn't care. They knew it was broken, and they still sold you. They chose to sell you a pile of broken garbage. And then to double down on it. And to make it, in some cases, worse. And even now, 5 years later, look at this. Look at this. You see that shadow on that leg? Look. See that? It's still glitching out all this time later. There's still problems. They never fixed this stuff completely. It's like, it was evil. Okay? They tried to steal your money. And yet you're just going to forgive them. It's the disagreement I've had with Maddie, with Colt, with all of these like hardcore fanboys. Maddie's not really a hardcore fanboy anymore. There was a time when he might have been considered a BGS fanboy, but now I think Maddie's very level-headed, to be fair. Colt, on the other hand, is just a hardcore fanboy. But I'm not going to forgive this multi-billion-dollar company because they gave me 500 atoms and a couple of patches. Okay? They tried to effectively steal your money with a broken product. You know what I'm going to do if I go and I buy a car and the car is totally broken, they don't allow me to return it, and they just pocket my money and run? I'm not going to buy a car from that company again. Or at the very least, before I do, it's going to take a lot of convincing. They're going to have to really win me over. Like, a lot. I'm not just going to roll over and be like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Past's in the past. No, screw that. They have to earn my money, my respect, my time, and my effort. You're not entitled to it. But the danger with fanboyism and hype is that you put yourself into a position where you're defending the people in the companies that are effectively taking advantage of you and abusing you. And that's not how that like life should work. Okay. If you're treated poorly, you should not accept that. You should reject it. You should shed them from your life. Come on. Ian, Luke, for your own mental health, don't worry about it. You'll have a heart attack. Yeah, that's true. I should calm down. Take some Xanax or something. But the consumer is always wrong. You are right. Agreed, but the leadership is different now. ZeniMax wanted quick money before Microsoft bought it. The management is not different, though. Pete Hines, Todd, all of those guys are still at the upper echelons of Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios. The people within ZeniMax are still there because, as we found out with Redfall, Xbox treats these companies independently. They don't actually blend them together. So it's not new management. It's the same guys are still there. Toxic soot flower. I don't need that. So, yeah, just drop them all. Jeez. So it's not the same. It is the same guys. Nothing's changed. Just have so much crap. How am I so weighed down? Carrots. Why do carrots weigh so much? God damn it. A tomato is half a pound. This is a video game. What are we doing? I know this is, I will acknowledge and admit this is personal preference, okay? This is not me saying anything like definitively. I personally really, really dislike inventory management. It drives me crazy. It just do. Okay, we'll do that. Just dump all of it. Oh, it doesn't fall on the ground. It just disappears. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. I think it's supposed to fall on the ground. Am I crazy? Or is that a Fallout 76 thing and I'm just thinking of Fallout 4? Do they do that so you can't gift stuff to other players or something? Because it seems like when you drop something out of your inventory, it should drop. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I have no idea. I don't know what's happening. This whole thing is a fever dream. This whole thing. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I think the only fun management, inventory management was in RE4. It can be used sometimes, like in horror games or thriller games, it can be used thematically. So like, oh, I'm being attacked by a scary monster. Juggling your inventory is something that adds to the experience. Okay. You know, and that can make things better compared to worse. But in something like this, like I personally don't like it. I understand some people find it satisfying. I personally don't like it when I'm exploring, having a good time, or maybe not having a good time, but I'm exploring, and then I have to like just spend 2 minutes filtering through things that are way more than they should. I did see a really funny statement from Todd. Somebody mailed him a box of like bobby pins after I think Fallout 4 launched, and they just included a note that said, weigh these. It was just like, Todd, these things don't weigh as much as you think they do. Revolutionary AI pathfinding. Yeah, this guy's just stuck. That guy's caught. At least he's shooting me. He's got good line of sight. I'll give him that. I don't want to be like a picky, cynical prick, okay? We're going to be real. I'm just like, we're trying to play this as organically as we can and just see if we start having fun at some point. That's kind of the goal.
November 27th, 2018. Miglaccio and Rathod LLP filed a class action suit on behalf of customers. Media quickly picked up on that. Their main argument is that it's a sometimes unplayable game owing to its technical problems, then they're refusing refunds, and that Bethesda is engaged in a strategy to release it anyway and then slowly patch their way into a more playable state. Updates on this lawsuit are slow.
Which absolutely is happening. Oh. Imperium, bud? I don't know what you got going on, but Imperium, do you think you could go through this and just like do a little collection of all the bugs we're finding and these little things? Because man, I would love to see the broader collection of all of these, or at the very least like clip them through YouTube. Because man, like, is this gonna ruin the game? Like, does something like this ruin the game for you? No, like, this is not a big deal. It's stupid. 5 years after launch, it probably shouldn't be here, but it's just funny. It's just funny. I don't know how to help. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna leave you to it. What hurt me? Okay. Kunal, thank you. Welcome. The nice 10mm rounds. Ooh, I busted you up, bruh. Ooh. Now imagine this with 1,000 different planets and 16 times more detail. That is precisely why I am very, very worried about Starfield. Like, and what I seriously, like, my brain just does not comprehend why people like get upset with us playing games like this and then pointing out the problems. Because I'm like, listen, if this is your last thing that you did, I don't think I'm crazy for thinking, hey, maybe the next thing you do isn't going to be very good either. But people instead come in and are like, you're just trying to hate on it. I'm like, no, like, I'm glad that you can enjoy it. I'm glad that you're having a good time. But let's call a duck, you know? Like, if it's not running great, if it's got problems, let's just acknowledge it. Just gonna eat this and get irradiated. I don't care anymore. We're headed over there. Just looked up the state of that class action lawsuit. Looks like nothing came out of it yet. 5 years later, dude. Jeez. Luke, it's a Friday. No trauma dumping. Sorry. Sorry, Rocky. Everybody, I'm so sorry. No trauma dumping. I'm sorry.
It's been so long since I've had a customer. Those blasted paper targets, they really don't hold up to the wind and rain. Not to mention the radioactive fallout. Unfortunately, my programming demands I keep fresh paper targets in place, no matter how unnecessary it may be.
Okay. I rarely rewatch videos on YouTube, but I rewatched your reaction you did to Colt Eastwood's Starfield hype video twice now because it's so ridiculous and funny. Yeah, that stream clip actually did quite well. I was actually pleasantly surprised. And it's just, I don't really know how anybody goes into that and says, no, that was a level-headed take on his part. Like, I would love, Rocky, if you want to reach out to him, I guess that could be something we could try. Rocky, if you want to reach out to that Colt guy and see if he wants to come on stream and talk about it, I'd be interested. I think that could be a fun little debate. Because, like, I don't want to just hate on the guy, but I'm just genuinely baffled that you could do that with a straight face and not realize that you are potentially leading your audience quite astray. Especially, like, for me, it gets, I think why I get so riled up about it, and let me know if this is, like, unacceptable or if I'm being irrational here. I think the reason why I get so riled up by some of the fanboy types that hype up games, like something like Starfield, before we have reason to really think that it's worth being super hyped about, is because it feels deceptive. It almost feels like lying. You know, like, because I think there is a lot of evidence to suggest that there are reasons you should not be super hyped for it. Like, there's a lot of indications, like Fallout 76 that we're playing right now, that show there are serious problems with the way Bethesda has produced games in the recent past, with their engine, with their tech, with their QA department, with their respect for their players. There's a lot of issues and reasons to be concerned. And when you come along and hype up your audience, telling them, no, Starfield is going to be the greatest game since the second coming of Hideo Kojima. There's going to be 16 times the detail, radiant AI, and there will even be robots that fillet you in your downstairs. Like, I find that upsetting because they know how Fallout 76 ran. They know what Bethesda did with that launch. They know they sold a broken pile of garbage, that the game is still freaking buggy. Exhibit A with the smokestack. Jesus. And yet they're still hyping it up. And what that does is it gets the community, your fan base, hyped up to the point where they are going to spend money potentially on the game. They're going to pre-order it. They're going to do whatever. And that makes you responsible for them wasting their money, their time, their energy, their excitement for clicks. And I just find that so detestable. Like, you have a fiduciary duty to your audience. Yeah, exactly. What QA department? You have a fiduciary duty to your audience when you get to be a YouTuber with thousands of people watching your stuff to come along and try to explain things critically and fairly, not hype people up irresponsibly. And when somebody not just fails to do that, but they, like, intentionally and knowingly go the opposite way. They intentionally and knowingly hype it up to an extreme extent. I find that pretty detestable. I just really lose respect, especially when somebody comes off as somebody who's pretty smart, who knows what they're doing, and then they do that. I find that to be pretty gross, you know, in my humble opinion.
That one guy super chatted $4.99.
Thank you, my friend.
This game bricked my computer back when it first came out.
Jesus.
Also, if Starfield is literally just Fallout 4 but in space, I will be happy. Love the vids.
Thank you, my friend. I agree. If they can come along and it is Fallout 4 in space or something, you know, roughly similar, I think people could be happy. I do think that there's a lot of weight, especially now, on them pulling off the technical side of it, which is where I think people will mostly be super disappointed. And again, this is why it's so important to have reasonable expectations for this stuff, because let's just be perfectly honest, I don't think there's a shot in hell that Starfield runs well at launch. And I don't even think that's controversial. I think like every piece of evidence, everything Bethesda's ever done points to it probably launching pretty busted. However, people like Colt and those guys that hype this up are going to convince their audiences that no, it'll probably run really well because it's on Creation Engine 2. As if, you know, that's even a thing to begin with. And so they're going to be shocked when the game launches buggy and broken, and there's going to be some mad cope going on. And it's just, oh, nice. It's just too bad. Because they shouldn't have to deal with that level of disappointment if they were watching people who were just responsible with their dialogue. Remove high-level power armor pieces to use as power armor frame.
Is attempting to evade capture. Beginning pursuit.
What's the high-level piece? I don't... Oh yeah, don't forget that Radiant AI. Yeah, exactly. Luke, do you think people now expect every AAA title to be revolutionary, leading hype for no reason? I don't think every single title. I think that specifically coming from companies that, let's be honest, there are reasons to like Bethesda stuff. There's reasons to be hyped. I also think Ultra Wide is stretching the previews of these items so they don't look right. Am I crazy? They're like slightly squished or something. They just don't, like, this is supposed to be, I thought, more circular than it looks, but maybe I'm just misremembering how they look. Anyway, there's reasons I think to be hyped for a game coming from a studio that's made some of your favorite games ever. I think that's reasonable to be like, oh, I'm excited. I loved Fallout 4 or Fallout 3, and so I'm excited to play the latest Fallout game or Starfield, whatever. However, it's not just that simple. There's other variables in that equation that have to be considered. It's like he's being paid to do it. I honestly, if you told me that he was being paid, I would not be shocked at all. Like his videos, to be fair, did a better job of communicating the Bethesda talking points than I think anything Bethesda's produced. Luke, am I crazy? Yes, very much so. Well, actually, Luke, kinda. I swear no games even know how to run well anymore. Maybe, hopefully it's changing. Hopefully this year is the one, kind of like 2014, you know, Assassin's Creed Unity launched and it was just a disaster. And everybody was like, okay, never do that. And so then all of a sudden games started launching pretty polished for a little bit. Like from 2016, 17, 18, games until Fallout 76. Games generally ran pretty well if they were AAA quality. And then we got into this weird rut. I think a lot of the rut we're in right now is probably from the last trailing remnants of COVID and work remote. I'm not in game dev, so I won't pretend to know why this is the case, but I've been told by a handful of people who work in game dev that they feel they're more productive and they work more efficiently when in the office. They said, I really like working at home because I really like not having to go anywhere, of course. But they said that they really think that it was more efficient when they could just get up, go over to the desk of the QA guy and explain with the programmer there what's going on, instead of having to like schedule and do a Discord call or a Slack chat or Zoom call or something. So I don't know if it's actually greatly increasing efficiency, but the fact that so many corporations want people to come back to the office, I think says that there probably is a lot of evidence that people work more efficiently or do more work for the same amount of pay when in the office. So, oh yeah, Rocky, thank you. Likes, everybody, like the stream. Do it. We got over 200. Let's push for 3. Let's push for 300. We can do it. Let's see. There's something very weird about the Xbox hype accounts in particular. Like, I remember being more hyped for Death Stranding than any other game, and then getting over the hype right away when the reviews dropped. Same happened with a lot of people that didn't like The Last of Us Part 2 as well. But with the big Xbox Twitter accounts I see, it's genuinely culty levels of investment hype. I will say I see the same thing from PlayStation fanboys too. I'm not gonna, pretend as though they're not. Do I just need to take off some of this stuff? I don't see a level listed. Oh, level 15. Duh, I can read. So I'm not level 15, so I can't wear that yet. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, PlayStation fanboys I think are also there. I'm clipping hardcore. Okay. So I've seen similar stuff with PlayStation for sure. I think it's just console war fanboyism in general gets a little mad, if we're being real.
So I'll keep you informed on the second channel. Ad time. Look, I needs Battle.com. Fallout fans made their pre-orders, and the most dedicated pre-ordered the Power Armor Edition. Wow. It came with a helmet, box, map, army toys, and a genuine West Tech canvas bag. Fast forward to the release, and customers noticed that their precious bags, which are supposed to be made of the finest canvas in the land,
Ooh, yummy.
look a bit different.
Bruh.
In fact, it looks like a carry bag the real bag should come in.
For real. It was
Did
so
they
crappy.
Really just advertise one thing and deliver another? You can't do that. So there was a surge of backlash, and people began emailing Bethesda, asking for refunds, asking for answers. By this point,
and this is the danger of hype, they'll buy those collector's editions and then get super pissed when they get them. And they'll blame the company for sure, but I put a lot of weight on the accounts that hype them up. That's maybe you don't, maybe you separate the two, but as an online content creator, I put a lot of responsibility on the people making the content that hypes people to this point.
customer service is absolutely over it. They are done with the facade, and they send this email in response.
Hello. We are sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag
I also love the robotic voice. It's very appropriate for how Bethesda handled this.
shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it.
That's the whole email. Staff at Bethesda aren't even hiding their contempt anymore. Naturally, the internet goes wild.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow.
The quartering. I heard the quartering is going to be doing a boxing match with Review Tech USA. Is that true? Because if that's true, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know. Like the Boogie Wings one was crazy and weird, but man, I'd 100% watch that. Yeah, I would. I'll be honest, I would like to see Rich from Review Tech win, but does anyone even watch the quartering? Yeah, a lot of incels do. It's pretty funny. Might be a Twitter beef. I don't know. I would honestly, I'd probably watch it. I think it'd be funny.
Wow.
Well, I got so mad, I shaved everything off my face.
Okay, guys, this is a bit of a PR nightmare. We have to quell the outrage. What do we do? Well, we've got this in-game currency. Let's just give them the minimum amount of that.
Or is it too late?
Fantastic
Oh,
idea.
it's too late. I failed it
Hear
somehow.
ye. Anyone who paid $200 to $300 for the Power Armor Edition is hereby entitled to $5 worth of in-game currency.
Treble!
Treble Champ super chatted $6.30. Hi Luke, love the content. However, I have all platforms and a NASA PC, as you put it. By far the most rabid and unreasonable fanboys are PC players.
I don't know. I guess maybe I don't follow the right accounts. But on, like, if you're looking on Twitter, you see some craziness in Twitter fanboy accounts, like console fanboy accounts, specifically for console war stuff. Just like straight up delusional stuff. Like the one we looked at earlier where the guy was like, yeah, GTA 6 is going to be exclusive to PlayStation 5. That's my prediction. It's ridiculous. PC fanboys, yeah, PC Master Race is definitely a thing, but at least in my experience, I haven't seen them like load up in like squads going into chats of streams and like trying to hate on people for talking down the PSVR 2. I posted that video of the PSVR 2. I said like, I don't think this is worth buying. Maybe one day it'll be worth buying, but right now there's just not enough games to justify the expense of $500, especially because the titular main game, the flagship game, was that Call of the Wild, whatever, Call of the Mountain, the Horizon VR game, and it got like 7 out of 10 from most outlets. So I was like, clearly, I think a 7 out of 10 is not enough to warrant you spending $500. It just isn't. It's just not. And there was like a concerted effort from PlayStation fanboys where they got together in a Discord group or subreddit, and they all came into the video of that live stream reaction, and within like 15 minutes left 80 to 100 comments on that video. Just unloading. Oh, this is L-Take, bro. The PSVR 2 is a stunning piece of technology. Like, it was ridiculous. It was crazy. I was like, you guys care this much about hyping up a Japanese giga corporation? Like, cringe, dude. Okay, do your thing. Thanks for the view. But I will agree, PC gamers are certainly there. PC Master Race. Oh, look, the Call of... Oh, that's funny. The depth of field glitches out. You see, the depth of field has it, so I'm looking at this rock, so the depth of field is focused on that rock. But look above. Look at these trees over there. When I look down, the trees in front of them have depth of field applied, but the distant trees don't. It's very subtle, but it doesn't look right. That's funny.
That you'll be able to spend with us. 500 atoms? Fuck yeah! What are you gonna do with your atoms? I'm gonna buy 5/18 of the white paint version of the Power Armor. Whoa! What about you? Lightwood laminate, lightwood laminate, lightwood laminate. Fuck the bag! He's right! Fuck the bag! Lightwood laminate, lightwood laminate, lightwood laminate, lightwood laminate, lightwood... Of course, this was Bethesda's fantasy of what would happen. What really happened is further outrage, and even the media started piling on.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
It even became part of that class action lawsuit from earlier. Bethesda put out a tweet apologizing for their poor customer service and gave a different excuse for why they didn't make the bags. A shortage of material, apparently. That was quickly debunked. Because it turns out they did make the canvas bag, except they gave them all out.
This is what's really egregious. Like, again, they're trying to win over creators and fanboys to continue hyping the game because they know if they hype their fans, they'll make money off of the fans. So they spend money winning over creators and meanwhile screwing over the customers that follow the creators. This is why I put so much weight on like responsible skepticism in video game journalism and coverage. It matters. And that the companies that make these piles of garbage know it matters. which is why they try to win over the creators in this way.
To influencers. Oh dear. It's not the same one, of course, but it's sourced from that ever-scarce material, canvas. But what's more amusing is that it turns out there is a canvas bag in the game. If you don the postman's outfit, which of course can be found at the Atom Shop, for 700 atoms. Ooh, just short. Well, the bleating from the online community continued, and Bethesda's lawyers realized there would be trouble, so they decided to capitulate. Alright, fine, we'll make you a precious fucking bag. If you want to claim it, you'll have to fill out this form with your name, personal details, address, etc., etc. And we'll ship out the bag to you in 4 to 6 months. But it doesn't quite end there.
I'll be fair to them, though. It does take about that long to actually get something like that produced. So they weren't just like dragging their feet. But it does show that they were not about to, like, they never planned on making the actual canvas bag. It was never on their priority list. Like, they were never doing it, which is why they had to start from scratch, which is, you know, why it took 4 to 6 months.
Because Bethesda is known for bugs, and of course their website is a buggy mess too. Turns out all of the customer support inquiries are unsecure and open to the public. In fact, people can open and close and change them at will. Listed are details of full legal names, phone numbers, home addresses, and more. If you've requested your canvas bag, you've just been doxxed.
Oops.
Not knowing how to immediately fix the problem, Bethesda panics and temporarily shuts down the whole website. And that is the tale of the Duffel Kerfuffle.
The Duffel Kerfuffle. Like, they can get sued into oblivion for leaking and missing all that information, especially if you can demonstrate that it was willful and knowledgeable cost cutting and failure on their part. Like, they could have fixed it. They could have avoided the exploit, but they chose not to by cutting corners. If they can demonstrate that, they are screwed. Low power? Oh no.
How could this have been so difficult? They made one for New Vegas. One last piece of merch. A rum drink. Nuka-Cola Dark. Pre-orders available in September. Shipped out on November 14th. $80 plus postage and handling. Not cheap. But in return you got a very cool bootle. Looks good on the shelf. A great conversation piece with the family over Thanksgiving.
It looks so crappy.
Or at least it would have been. November 14th came and went, and there was no rum. Okay. A week later, on November 21st, an email comes through. There's a delay. Things aren't up to the usual Fallout standard, they say. The usual Fallout standard.
All of this just works.
Things aren't up to the usual Fallout standard. So we'll have it for you soon. No specific date given.
1 week later.
Nothing. Then on December 5th, another email. Good news. We start shipping on December 12th. It's been nearly 3 months since you pre-ordered, but as a show of good faith, we made this promotional video for you. And this is where things went from
yeah, dude, they just subtly show this thinking people are going to be like, oh, that looks awesome.
Tardy to retardy. Right there. Did you catch that? That's just a regular industry bottle and a plastic shell. We paid $80 and waited a quarter of a year for a plastic shell? People were not happy. Look at that ratio. Nothing in the marketing said that it was a plastic shell. Super premium, we were promised. And the media agreed. People began cancelling their orders. Silver Screen tries to convince people that it's not cheap and shitty. It actually costs us twice as much.
If you ever have to, like, explain to your audience, I forget who it was. Hold on, maybe I can find it. It was a politician. If you're explaining, you're losing. Was it Ronald Reagan? If you're explaining, you're losing. Very simple quote, but it's true in politics and in everything in pop culture. If you're explaining, you're losing. And when they're having to explain, no, it's not a pile of garbage. We actually spent a ton of money on the plastic mold. you've lost. You've lost.
Much to make the plastic one than the glass one. Then what the fuck? We spent 100 hours coding the design. Convincing stuff. So it arrives, just a few days before Christmas. The rum is about the quality you'd expect.
Can I swear on this? It's my own show.
Worse is the design. The oversized lip means liquid can pour inside the shell.
Hard to pour because how they made this damn thing. Spilled like half the shot.
Very dribbly.
So you're best off opening the whole thing up to prevent spilling. But if you do that, there's a good chance that you'll snap the flimsy plastic. Any liquid will immediately ruin this cheap paper sticker. Some made their own at home and the quality was about on par. But look, if you do want a decent version of this product, there are reputable sellers of them. They're on Etsy. They're far cheaper, and they actually give a shit. Not gonna lie though, some of the memes that came out of this were pretty good. Now, many claim that this was an honest mistake.
Sorry.
Or that customers were at fault for misinterpreting ambiguous marketing. I disagree. All of the marketing shows other glass items. All of the mock-ups show something more akin to frosted glass than plastic. They give plenty of descriptions of the product too, and not once do they mention plastic. And they were engaged in a bunch of other tomfuckery as well. Before the product was even available, they flooded their own product reviews with a bunch of 5
Which is illegal.
stars.
Pretty sure.
This raised some eyebrows, and people on Reddit even called them out for it, so they deleted them. You can see all this activity on the Wayback Machine. Now, if they're happy to deceive people in this way, it seems silly to give them the benefit of the doubt about the glass. It's also worth quickly talking about the Bethesda merch store. Some of these items are pretty neat. That's cool. Good idea. I'd have that. Fallout 76 pant.
I got that Fallout cookbook for Christmas.
Good idea. I'd have that.
Yeah, that one. It's upstairs somewhere. Recipes are pretty good. Give him that.
Fallout 76 pant. Singular. But why is he so mad? The photography is all just slightly off.
The wedgie in the sweatpants, dude. Oh, man.
This gaudy jacket was mocked relentlessly on social media. But does the $76 and $276 really make it more immersive? And why did they just toss it on the ground? And it comes in this crumpled up toddler body bag. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in merch and you don't have an eye on? Why is she wearing the size XXL? She's clearly not happy about it. But who looked at this and said, good job, print? Now that's surprising.
I don't think they ever had that in stock. I think they just put it as sold out.
They made the bottle properly. Yeah, one of those please, but bigger and brown. Is that so hard? Let's get back to the game. December 2018. There are 2 new patches released that caused quite a stir. First, the good. For PC, they included a number of quality of life improvements, including push to talk. But it also brought in field of view sliders. Hooray! Increased stash capacity from 400 pounds to 600 pounds, and a small buff to automatic weapons. Hooray! They decreased the carry weight of bobby pins so it no longer took up 10 to 20% of people's inventory.
I got a box of bobby pins
Oh,
the other
this.
week that said,
I didn't realize I was quoting this video. Yeah. This is amazing.
weigh these.
There were also upgrades to the camp that allowed for easier construction, and a bunch of bug fixes. Hooray. The bad. A whole bunch of unannounced stealth nerfs. They generally made the
Gotta
game
love
grindy.
this.
Ammo production was decreased. Fusion cores burnt out faster. Legendary enemies spawned less frequently.
On guard, I'll fuck you up.
And the backlash was significant, because everybody knew why Bethesda was doing it. To encourage people to use the Atomic Shop. And let's talk briefly about that store. Some of the prices are outrageous. A Christmas tree for $12, a Santa outfit for $20, blue and yellow paint for $18. Oh look, $3 for the same sweater vest and slacks item imported from Fallout 4. But the biggest offense of all was the holiday emote bundle. $24 for some Christmas-themed emotes. Twice the price of these games. The media agreed that these were egregious prices. But worse, they're engaged in some deceiving marketing practices too. Oh look, it's marked down half price. But it's not. It was released half price. They're artificially jacking up the price, only to then give it a fake limited time discount in order to create a sense of urgency. That's illegal, here in Australia at least, in Canada and in the EU. Reddit quickly picked up on this and pointed it out. Bethesda reacted by scrapping the discount and just setting it as the always intended price.
Yeah, they knew.
Okay, it's been about 25 minutes of whining now, so I'm just going to leave it here. I didn't even get a chance to touch on the new pay-to-win fiasco. The new camera item that lets you teleport, dwindling player numbers. But on the flip side, they're also adding new content and improving the game over time.
Wait, where did the power armor go? I got out of it right here. I know it's just the skeleton, but I'm carrying the other pieces. What? I'm carrying the pieces, but the frame I left right here. I didn't think the frame would despawn. It auto recalls? Okay. I'm just surprised it's still, like, it disappeared.
Heck, No Man's Sky was a surprising comeback. So, maybe Bethesda can do it too. But for now, Todd returns to cryostasis, hiding in his bunker until the bombs of outrage stop falling, and returning only when it's time to get our hopes up once again.
Man, I want to know if Todd has, like, seen these videos and if he watches them. Right? Like, I would just love to know what his reaction is. Yeah, I just would think that he's got to be aware. And if he's not aware, I mean, he's straight up delusional. But even if he is aware, do you think, like, does he even care? That's the thing. I'm not sure if he even really cares, because it doesn't really matter. Nick, hey Luke, just subbed for 3 months. Oh, thank you, my friend. I'm subbing and say, have a good stream and thanks for the great vids. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know. I just think even if he's aware, he probably doesn't care that much. Oh, man, having to use a separate keyboard for this. It's E. It's not right click or left click. Oh, I'm out of wood. I have no more wood. Doors, crafting, traps, defenses, generators, power, light, food, appliances, beds, chairs, stash boxes. Do I just not have any stash boxes available? I can't build stash boxes. Okay, well. Yeah, I have to find a plan. And then for all these, I need a little more wood. Okay. A meat bag! Okay, well, let me go over here. Can I just get wood from over here? Or do I have to... I'm gonna have to discover it. Even though I'm surrounded by wood, do I have to go discover it? I have to find it in a drawer. Guessing that's what has to happen. Oh, well. Am I really? I don't think that the stuff I picked up, the armor pieces, this didn't look that great. Disease, airborne, waterborne. Yeah, Raider power stuff. It hurts, but I think I'm just going to drop it. We'll find better stuff later. And you're right. Yeah, here's the chassis. You do pick it up. I don't know why you'd pick it up, but apparently you do. Food and drink. I guess they just don't want it to be like sitting out and about, get stolen, so they bring it with you. Mm-hmm. 65 repair kit, hollow notes, junk. Sort by weight. Bag of fertilizer. I don't need these anymore because it failed that quest. So I guess I got to hold them. Just okay. And then this is the paper bag with all that stuff. So that stuff was supposed to drop. It just didn't. Okay. By the way, yes, this is running on Ultra. I know it's 5 years old, but just letting everybody know. Is that a raider? It's a cultist. Oh. Okay. I didn't even see that Molotov go out. Oh, I saw that one. I saw that one real good. I saw that one real good. My goodness. I don't need your pickaxe. Don't need your pickaxe. Yeah, I'll take that. Short pipe rifle, I think I'm okay. The moth disappeared, which is a bummer. I was looking forward to fighting that guy, but oh well. Oh well. Drink a beer. I'm doing the Penn Gillette playthrough, so no drinking. I just don't have any in my inventory, I don't think, that I saw. But I'm okay now. I'm good. I think we Leader of the Pack is an event, protest march, Saigon. Let's head over here. Let's meet a level 600 plus character. Yeah, I know you can loot everything at the same time, but I don't want to pick up things I don't want. So I don't have very high stats since we just started, so every pound counts. Gotta hop off for a meeting. Have a good rest of the stream. Pretty alright. Sounds good. Thank you, my friend. Oh, God. Run. Run. I'm stuck. Don't mind me. Just plinking them off one by one. Oh, God. Do they seriously not see me from behind the bush? Oh, just let them do their thing. Come on. There we go. Okay, we did it. We did it. Honestly, not a bad event. Plenty of enemies, lots of stuff. It runs way better than I remember it running at launch. Whenever there were more than like 2-3 enemies on screen, it started to really struggle. But that time it had no problems as far as I saw. Lots of enemies on screen, lots of stuff happening, and it kept up pretty well. Let's take all of that stuff because they seem more rare. And now we get to loot it up. Crystal shards, protest sign. The protest signs are pretty funny. God, that scoped Magnum gives me Fallout 3 nostalgia. Yeah, dude, for real. The good old days. I heard another super mutant. Just killed his dog. Let's go up here. Squirrel on a stick in a random cooler. Oh God. I can't open the door. Oh no. E. I can't open the door. Crouch.
"16 times the detail."
Well, like, again, let's be real, okay? I know what some are gonna say. Okay, I already see it. It says close the door. Oh, hey, I just had to let it work itself out. Is that gonna like ruin the game? Is that a game-breaking bug? No. Like, let's be honest, no, it's not. Is it really stupid? Yeah. Or like this weird purple light that's shining there. Is that stupid? Yeah. Should that be there 5 years after launch? No, it shouldn't. But frankly, it's just one more thing, you know? It's just one more little annoyance that sits on top of all of this to just give you one more excuse not to play it. And frankly, in the realm of these types of games, players are so, like, there's so many options out there for players, right? There's so many games that you could be playing. And when there's a game like this that comes along that has a lot of problems and not a whole lot of upside that I've seen so far, it starts to make you really question whether or not your time's being wasted, or if you would just have more fun playing something else. And frankly, so far, granted, I'm going into this playing solo, so I'm not playing with anybody in my party. I'll be doing that later today, and we're gonna be seeing how the game runs and how it works when we play like that. But as a solo player, so far I haven't really been exposed to the community in any sort of way where I feel like super welcome, or I feel like, oh, this, I'm gonna keep playing for this. When I played Hell Let Loose, somebody joined. I was playing with Caleb. We went into a battle, and we were in a little whatever brigade or whatever, and there was one empty spot. And this guy joined our party and started doing the voice chat. And he started explaining, oh yeah, I'm part of a team of like vets. We served in Afghanistan or Desert Storm, some of us, and we even have a couple of Vietnam vets. And we play Hell Let Loose, and we teach new players the ropes. And we're like, that's awesome. So like, he played a few battles with us to show us how the game worked and what you need to do to figure it out. And it was amazing. It was crazy. I was like, I don't think I've ever had played a game where like the experienced players are actively seeking me out, not knowing who I am or what I do, but actively seeking out just strange players that they don't know and showing them how the game works and what they need to do to have a good time. It was so impressive and refreshing and just different. And while I have encountered, like playing this right now, we're playing Fallout 76 without the pacifist mode turned on. So we could get jumped by trolls, by people who are trying to ruin our day. What's the term for that in a online game? I'm blanking. Starts like a B, I think. Oh Oh my god, griefers. It starts with a G. Like we haven't really run into any griefers or anything. So I'll give them the credit there. We have not seen a toxic community or anything like that. Everybody we've encountered seems to be happy doing their own thing. But it's just that everybody's off doing their own thing. You see how spread out everybody is. just having fun doing their own bits and bops. These guys seem to be playing together probably. And so it just begs the question, okay, well then why am I playing this online game if I'm just going to be playing alone? Why not just go play Fallout 4 again or New Vegas or Fallout 3? And that's kind of where I'm at. Like this whole game just makes me wonder why not just boot up Fallout 3 again? Why not just go back in and play Fallout 4 or New Vegas with some mods and stuff? Because there's not a lot of meat on the bone as far as I'm seeing. You can join a team right now if you want. Yeah. And like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the afternoon. Once we hop off stream, I'm going to be trying the multiplayer stuff. Because all of this is for a video that is going to be going up tomorrow, just so everybody knows. But I'm going to be trying the multiplayer stuff and joining random parties, seeing how it goes. And I'm going to see if that greatly changes the experience to the point where I'm like, okay, I get it now. Because I hope to get it. I would love to have a new game that's like a new obsession for me. I would love it. But I'm not sure if this is going to be it, you know. I'm hopeful, but we're going to see. We're going to see. That's the thing. Fallout 4 wasn't perfect, but this is just lackluster in every way imaginable. X and Y, I heard a quote from another creator that I actually thought was pretty funny, where he was describing Fallout 76. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of the guy that did this. I'm blanking on his name. If it's going to come to me randomly, but I saw like a Twitter video that quoted it and was like, I think this is really accurate with Fallout 76 and so many games we've played. What he said was Fallout 76, everybody agrees, was a dumpster fire at launch. But the problem with dumpster fires is that the moment you put it out, it's still a dumpster filled with garbage. So you can put out the fire with Fallout 76, get rid of the bugs, polish it, refine it, get performance better. But if it's a dumpster fire, it's still a dumpster full of garbage. And I hope that that's not the case once I try the multiplayer stuff this afternoon. I hope to have some more stuff. But I mean, it's the same thing with like Redfall. Redfall's a dumpster fire. And once you put out the fire, it's still a dumpster. It's still garbage. There's no magic fixing that. You just made it so it doesn't reek as badly, you know. He took my thing.